Welcome back to my Pokémon Emerald Hardcore Nuzlocke walkthrough. In the last episode, we kicked the series off by going over some of the early game, starter selection, and also ended up with a few very rare encounters along the way. A very interesting start for sure. After a very sweaty battle to obtain our first gym badge, it's time to move on to Brawley and beyond. The road from Gen 3 Casual to Emerald Master continues. Let's do this. Don't forget to pick up the Quick Claw from the trainer school. I probably should have picked that up as soon as I entered Rustboro, but oh well. Now that we've beaten Roxanne, we have to go help a grown adult again. In the process, we'll mow over some of these other trainers on Route 116 now that we have Cut, which we have taught to our slack-off for the time being. Afterwards, it's time to help two adults by getting the Devon goods back from a weirdo dressed as a sailor and save Pico in the process. I gotta be honest, buddy. I only went in there to save Pico. Now the guy that we helped twice now has taken me to his boss, whom asks me for another favor. Normally that would really grind my gears, but delivering this letter actually comes with an amazing reward, the experience share. Getting the experience share so early in this generation is just really nice. On our way out of Rustboro City, your rival will stop you and force you to give them your number. Just be careful not to click too fast through this like I did, as they will ask you if you want to battle at the end of the conversation. This battle is totally optional, and you can say no. But if you do want the XP and the money and you're confident everything will go fine, then go for it. Quick ride on Mr. Bridie's boat, and... wow, call from my father, that's rare. You seem to be doing fine. Okay, bye. Thanks, Dad. As soon as you get to Dewford, you're going to want to pick up a couple of items right away. The house located right next to the dock will have an ace trainer in there that will give you a silk scarf for free. Really awesome early game item to have, and it should work out nicely once our slack-off evolves. You're then going to, of course, want to talk to the fisherman in town as well to pick up your first fishing rod. This is very important for the two guaranteed encounters we are about to pick up. We can start fishing right in the town itself, and we get ourselves a Magikarp. Gyarados is always a welcome encounter in any Nuzlocke you play where he's available, and this generation is no different. Although I will say his moveset is unfortunately awful in this game as well. We'll be using Tackle and Bite to kill things for quite a while. Since this was before the physical special split, Bite is special in this generation, which isn't as good. Heading north to fish on Route 106, and we get ourselves a guaranteed Tentacool encounter. Since I play with Dupe's Claws in my rule set, I can just keep ignoring all the other Magikarps that show up until I get one. Well, never mind. Another quick tip, especially for lower level encounters you get, don't get greedy. Just throw the fucking Pokeball when its HP is a bit higher, if not full. Not getting that Tentacool sucks. It's very possible we really needed that for the 4th gym. I guess we'll have to come up with something else. We're going to head into Granite Cave first so we can get another encounter and do some training. But before you do, make sure you pick up the hidden Stardust and Pokeball on the beach. Stardust is very nice for some extra cash. We'll pick up Flash from this guy as soon as we walk into the cave, and our next encounter is... Makuhita it is then. I literally just talked about this, Jesus fucking Christ. Dustox, you need to chill out, bro. Don't ever do what I just did with those last two encounters. Just make sure you have enough Pokeballs on you and just throw them until you catch them. Now we are really gonna have a rough time. I progressed through the remainder of Granite Cave without Flash. If you need help with this, just look up the map of the cave online. We want to deliver the letter to Steven first, so we can then go back to Rustboro City and pick up that experience share now. It just makes grinding so much easier and faster. On my way out of the cave, Dustox hits level 17 and learns Protect. If you do have a Dustox, do not skip this. Protect is a very powerful move, especially for dealing with slacking in the 5th gym. I ran all the way back to Rustboro so I could pick up the experience share from Mr. Stone at the Devon Corporation. Like I said, this detour is very well worth it. Running all the way back to Dewford Town, and with Dustox we are ready to absolutely wreck Brawley and the 2nd gym. The extra experience going to my other Pokemon will be very nice. I have a lot of Pokemon that I'll need to level up, so I'll be putting my grinding hat on shortly. If you do need help with grinding locations and how to level your Pokemon faster in general in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, check out my grinding guide listed in the description below. It should really help, especially with all the handheld players. Finally at Brawley, let's get this over with. I actually completely forgot about Seismic Toss. This fight with Machop actually got kinda hairy for a minute, forcing me to use my berry and everything, but eventually he goes down. Meditite is up next, and he is free no matter which Pokemon you are using. Just make sure you're using a 100% accurate attacking move. The only damaging move this Meditite has is Focus Punch, which requires the user not to be hit by an attack in order for it to go off. With Poison up and a bunch of gusts later, he finally goes down. And now, it's just Dustox versus Brawley's ace Makuhita, and this was quite simple. Just spam Confusion until he goes down. I got pretty lucky with the Confusion procs, but that really wouldn't have mattered honestly. He would have gone down regardless. And with that, badge number 2 is ours, as well as the TM for Bulk Up, which may very well come in handy for us at some point later on. Now that the second gym is finally complete, it's time for some grinding. With the next gym leader being one of the more notoriously difficult ones in the game, I'm going to need a pretty filled up team to take him on, especially since I didn't end up going with Mudkip from the start. Luckily, we do have a lot of trainer fights on the way to Mauville City. We'll start with the trainers on the beach outside of Slayport. Once you get there, make sure you pick up the soft sand from this little girl on the beach. Another nice type boosting item. Also be sure to clear out the Soda Pop house on the beach as well. You get free Soda Pop and it allows you to buy even more afterwards. Soda Pop restores your Pokemon's HP by 60, and it's half the price of a Super Potion, which is huge. Definitely load up on as much of these as you can while you're here. After healing up at the Slateport Pokemon Center, it's time to look for Captain Stern to deliver the Devon goods. After talking to Doc, I can then head over to the museum to pick up the Thief TM, take out a few Team Aqua Grunts, and finally deliver the Devon goods, which will subsequently open up Route 110 to the north and our next encounter. Can I help you? You think we're gonna become good friends, huh? Nothing more unsettling than a grown adult forcing his phone number upon a child. Anyway, back to Route 110 in my encounter. Looks like a Gulpin. And don't worry, I've learned my lesson from last time. I hope. The Gulpin is captured, and it's not a bad encounter to be honest. Swalot is much better than people think. Early Sludge, Body Slam, Toxic via level up is really awesome, and it gets the stockpile package later on as well. Gulpin himself isn't so great though, so we'll probably have to wait until after we get through Watson before we can use him. Poochyena evolving is huge for us right now, as we are really going to need some help against our rival in Watson. I'm particularly worried about our rival since all 3 of our usable Pokemon are weak to her ace, Combuskin. I'm going to look to do some more grinding now, so I can give myself the best chance of getting out of here with no casualties. Unfortunately, Route 110 is the best place to do this at the moment, and it's not very fast. I'll see you guys in a bit. After some time later, I feel like I'm ready to take on the rival fight on Route 110. Be sure to prepare for this fight, as it is definitely one of the more challenging ones. I lead in with my Grovyle to take out her Wingull. This is so I can bait her Combuskin out next. Although, I did not think Wing Attack would deal that much damage to me, and I also didn't think that Quick Attack would not hit that hard. Seriously? It's a fucking Wingull, for Christ's sake. This was totally miscalculated on my part, but this is just another reason why I don't like Grovyle in these games. The Combuskin comes out next as expected, so I switched into Mightyena to intimidate him, expecting an Ember or Peck to come out on my Grovyle. This was a big fucking mistake, because since Grovyle was in kill range for literally any of Combuskin's moves, the move was chosen at random, and it just so happened to be Double Kick. The absolute worst possible scenario for me. This is going terribly. I switched into Dustox next, which was my plan from the beginning, to tank a Double Kick, except he used Focus Energy instead. I've got a long ass way to go as far as understanding the AI of this game. I used Protect just to see what Combuskin would use, and it looks like it's Ember. I don't really have a choice here. I need to just start hitting this thing with some confusions. I want to try to save my Dustox for later if I can, so I switched into Mightyena again to try to lower Combuskin's attack stat some more. Maybe one of my other Pokemon can take a Peck or a Double Kick if I lower his attack stat enough. Now that my Mightyena is nearly dead, it looks like it's about time for our first sacrifice of the run, and it has to be Abra, unfortunately. I am such a fucking idiot. I should have brought Whismur to this fight to use as the strategic sacrifice instead, but I totally forgot. At this point, I don't really have any options. I'm just going to throw Dustox into the fight one last time to see if I can get lucky with the confusion. Unfortunately, it's just barely not enough to take Combuskin out, and Dustox goes down. I send Grovyle in to finish the chicken off with a quick attack. But wait, there's more! I thought I would be cruising the rest of this fight, but no! After some back and forth with Lombre, he gets a fucking crit swift on my Grovyle, and just like that, 3 of my party members are dead after I just said I would do everything I could to get out of this without any casualties. I finish the fight with Mightyena, and my rival finally goes down. I deserve an award? I really don't feel like it, May. This is what poor preparation and underestimation looks like in a hardcore Nuzlocke. You need to have a plan and have a clear mind. What I should have done was spent the time to level up my Magikarp into a Gyarados and my Slackoth into a Vigoroth. It would have taken a long time, but that would have given me the options I needed in order to get by easily. But my laziness got the best of me. I know grinding really sucks. Trust me, I get it. But you just saw the results. Being underleveled or not having the amount of team members you should will always come back to bite you in the ass. Don't make these mistakes that I have. Do not take the rival fight on Route 110 lightly. And with that, this episode is now over. But the attempt isn't. I may have lost my starter, but I still have pieces that I know I can work with, that I know can push this run much farther than this. But in order to get back on my feet, there's got to be a lot of grinding ahead of me. Luckily, there are a bunch of trainers that open up at this point, as well as the daycare, which is the first alternative grinding method for Pokemon Emerald. If you're interested in how that works, check out that grinding video I mentioned earlier in the description below. I'll be referring back to it myself before the next episode, because I'm going to need it. By then, I'll have a new team ready to go to take on Watson and the new routes that open up. In the meantime, please like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more content like this. And let me know what other kinds of content you would like to see me do in the future. That's it for me. I'll see you next time.